I mean, I feel like I would go insane if I was just doing school for like 15 hours a day.
최근 BTS의 리더 RM의 스페인 매체와의 인터뷰가 화제가 된 적이 있습니다. 인터뷰 중 스페인 매체는 지나친 노력은 한국의 문화적 특성인가? 라는 식의 질문을 했고, 이 질문의 본질은 한국의 치열한 경쟁과 많은 시간 투자하는 노력을 비꼬는 질문이었다고 질타를 받았는데요. 이 질문에 대해 RM은 침략당하고 황폐화되었던 나라인 한국이 70년 만에 전 세계가 주목하는 나라가 되었다. 이것이 가능했던 이유는 사람들이 발전하려고 미친 듯이 노력했기 때문이다 라는 훌륭한 답변을 내놓았었습니다. 펜실베니아 주립대의 샘 리처드 교수의 강의 시간에도 이와 비슷한 이야기가 나왔는데요. 강의를 담당한 샘 리처드 교수 역시 대한민국의 학구열이 지금의 한국의 수준을 만들었다는 이야기를 했습니다. 또한 대한민국 국민들의 교육 수준이 미국이나 중국은 도저히 따라올 수 없는 수준이라는 것 또한 알려주었는데요. 여기에 그렇게 많은 시간 공부하는 것은 미친 짓이다 라는 반응을 보이는 미국 학생에게는 한국인의 노력이 대한민국을 어떻게 변화시켰는지를 긍정적인 면에서 바라보며 설명하기도 했습니다. 샘 리처드 교수의 강의를 함께 보시겠습니다.
I want to talk about a couple things that are going to frame the conversation we have today. Korea is one of the most educated countries in the world. 70% of Koreans aged 25 to 34 have four-year college degrees. And the U.S. is 40%, but 40% versus 70%. And then look at Germany, Saudi Arabia. I put Saudi Arabia because there are so many Saudis in here. And China, Nigeria. What do you do? How do you get there? Like, what's going on in Korea with education? And what's it mean? And so this is what I want to talk about this today. They were competing with 70% of the population their age who also had college degrees. So the college degree is just the norm. Leah, you said something about that. Can we talk about these? Like, tell people what these hagwons are. Like, what is this?
Okay, so hagwon is like academic lessons that students take after school. It may be just tutor or just normal lessons from another professional. So, like Koreans are like, they're really into education. So going to more than 3 hagwons per day or like maybe 5, it's really normal for Koreans.
So that would sound like hell to most of you all, I would assume, right? Do you guys want to add anything to this idea?
Okay, so basically it means like it's more harder for our generation to proceed compared to our parents' generation. Mm-hmm. Like for example, like it was okay to succeed like for our parents' generation, like when they had to get a loan and they were able to buy like apartments, mm-hmm. but today it's really complicated and there's a lot of restrictions and it's more competitive. So yeah, literally it means it's hell for our generations compared to our parents' generations.
Mm-hmm. What else would the rest of you add to this?
Like as long as I remember, like as a student when I was back in Korea, I was a high school student there, and I was actually preparing for like many exams there, and like 90%, like just most of the students, they studied more than like 10 or 12 hours a day. So like even I studied as much as I could, it was just the average. So I remember it was very competitive.
And so the idea is that no matter what you do, you're like spinning your wheels to try to keep up with everybody else.
Right.
And you never know if you can, because are you ever gonna, it doesn't matter how much you study, you can always study more, and there's always someone else studying more. And then when you finally get a job, maybe you get a job, or you're graduating, now you're competing with all these other people, and you're back on the hamster wheel. And then once you get a job, maybe you're not making enough money, and you're working and working and working, and no matter what, it's like hell. It's like Squid Game, right, in a way. What's the average school day?
So normally it starts at 8, I think, and then ends at 3 afternoon. So that's only school. And
Okay,
then,
so everyone goes to school, right? Okay. So, all right, go ahead.
and then after school, when I was in middle school, I went to like 2 or 3 hagwons. It's basically line tutoring, at line tutors, but in some tutoring, if you get, they test you, and then if you don't get like high scores, they don't send you home. So
Wait, so you get like locked into a hagwon?
So like basically a few days I couldn't go to home, like in the 3 or 4 in the morning.
Wait, so you're paying, your parents are paying for this, right? Your parents pay for this. The hagwons you pay for.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
okay.
$300, $400 a month.
Okay. And it could be a lot more. If you have a lot of money,
Yeah.
obviously you're going to pay a lot of money. When you graduate from Penn State, you have the idea, okay, you're going to find a job. But if you were competing with twice as many people with college degrees here or back home, wherever you're from, if you're not from the United States, you'd be tutoring. You'd be like trying to elevate your, get your game together, man. Dude, you have a question?
So, like, talking about hagwons and like the continued like after school schooling and all that, and hearing it going to 2-3 a.m. Like, I know that even in the U.S., the high schools have like a massive problem with students not getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
Is it like just across like even the whole population, like the younger population in Korea, and like, I guess, is it even worse than here?
There's actually I can answer that if I could. Even at the work level, there's actually a condition that Korea is really working with, that of people who are just perpetually sleep deprived. And so people get into these cycles of sleep deprivation, and it's really a problem for large segments of the Korean population. And it starts at a very young age, and it goes on. It's people who are, like my age. Because you're not just studying now, you're also working that hard.
You guys play like sports, or like you literally just do school
Who has
Monday
time
to
for
Friday?
sports, dude?
I mean, I feel like I would go insane if I was just doing school for like 15 hours a day. Like, would you not?
Yeah. Look at them. Do they
No,
look normal?
I don't
dude?
know, because you don't need I feel like you don't need 15 hours of school a day to like go out in the real world and make money. Like,
I don't know.
like,
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I got you. When I was in Korea, Junho and I went to this Incheon International High School, and I gave a talk there. And you can see me somewhere in the middle. I think I'm in the, oh yeah, you can see me. There I am. Hang on. Right there. The dude. And so teachers are really revered in Korea, right? Not like here, like those of you who are going into education, maybe you want to be teachers. It's like, you're not going into it because teachers have such high status and so on, but in Korea they do.
Okay, so in South Korea, if you're really educated, you're classified as like upper level, and students really liked you, and like you realize that a lot of students were really good at English, and they asked a lot of questions to you. So,
dude, these students asked questions of me that I couldn't answer. There were 15-year-olds asking me questions to which I didn't have an answer. There was one question about U.S. foreign policy as it relates to China. These are 15-year-olds, right? 16-year-olds, and I almost had to do a call in to my friend who's the national security advisor to the White House on China. And I'm like, hang on a sec, y'all. I'm going to have to call her to get an answer to this question because I can't answer that question. I mean, this is what I do for a living. And I'm like, y'all are like, you've just like blown me away with this, right? And so that's my experience. But the idea is that teachers are revered.